Hey guys, welcome back to this week's edition of Group Gab with Emily and Julie. And this week we are super excited to be joined by our KBMC Director, Becky Cox. And so this week what we wanted to do is just kind of talk a little bit overview in regards to inpatient programming. Just as a side note, everybody's doing a fantastic job. We just keep getting such wonderful comments, and so we're just so proud and blessed to have each of you on the unit doing your part to really implement this new programming. So just keep up the great work. And so this week, like I said, I just kind of wanted to sit down and talk a little bit with Becky. Becky, how long have you been in mental health, working in mental health?
I think I'm going on 22 years.
22 years. So long time working in mental health. So she's seen a lot. She's done a lot. She's been part of a lot of things here, probably at the network, but also just in mental health in general. And things have changed over the course of those years, I'm sure.
Lots of change.
And so I think one of the things that I'm curious about, and I'm sure all of our viewers out there would be interested in, is what do you see as your vision for inpatient programming here at KBMC based on some of the knowledge that you have of all of these years of expertise?
Okay, so that's a nice loaded question, Julie. Well, the first thing that I would like to say is it makes me proud when I round with the patients, and I would always hear, you know, I've been to other facilities, Becky, but your facility here at KBMC has so much more to offer. A lot of times I would hear, you know, when I go to those folks across town, you know, we just sit all day and we don't get to do much, things like that. So it does make me proud. I feel like our programming is always that thing that sets us above the rest of our competitors. I feel like when we have looked over the last couple of years, kind of the one thing that we were missing and we've started to bring into that programming is just making sure that we are allowing the patients to utilize the coping skills that we're teaching, and strongly encouraging that and giving them lots of positivity, that small little glimmer of hope that, hey, yes, I can do this, I'm doing it here, and I'm going to take these skills with me once I leave here at KBMC. And more we're starting to hear some of those patient stories. You know, over the years, I always say we don't get a lot of reward from our patients because sometimes our patients leave and then we never hear from them again. But more and more we're starting to hear stories of patients in the community that have come back and said, hey, you know what, you guys helped me, here's what this has done for me. And it's been 3 years, 5 years, 6 years later that we're really hearing those stories. So I really just want us to continue to connect with those patients, give them that glimmer of hope, and then you know, just have us stand out above the rest, because I think that's what we have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really cool. And I think there was just an email recently that you had sent out that had a patient that had been here and she just wanted to give back because she had had such a great experience here with our groups. And so that speaks volumes to, you know, the staff as well as some of the programming that we're trying to implement. So, you know, kudos to you guys for doing that. But that's a great example. So we are on the heels this year, Becky, of HVAP coming in, and it's like kind of waiting for Christmas morning, right? And so we're all trying to get prepared. What does the new structure of our inpatient programming, how can that help us with our HVAP review?
So in my experience, the HVAP reviewers and really all of our regulatory bodies are looking to make sure that we're providing education for the patients. So they look very specifically at some of the topics. They want to know that those things that we're educating and teaching the patients go back to the treatment plans. And so making sure that we're providing that documentation, so we want to give ourselves credit. You know, we can do all the groups in the world, but if we're not capturing that documentation in the record, then we haven't done that. So it's just as important to make sure that you've done the documentation as it is to really providing these groups for the patients. So I think that's what I would say.
Yeah, and I think too, going back to when we started this process, we talked a lot about consistency for group programming, meaning a group on Monday, or Monday rather, would look the same as Saturday. And so, you know, we have patients that come and go on, regular basis. And so, one of the things too that we're trying to do is making sure that there's consistency. Is that something that HVAP also looks for?
Yeah, absolutely. HVAP as well as our OMOS surveyors, when they come in, they want to make sure, because we're a 24/7 operation and we, have services provided every day of the week, they want to make sure that that patient that comes in on Friday and may discharge on Monday is going to receive the same services that we offer our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday patients that are here. So that definitely, that consistency is definitely something that they are going to be looking for, because they'll even have, I've been in surveys where they have a calendar as part of their, whatever, and they're looking at the dates and specifically checking to see, when a patient came in and when patients discharged.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it is pretty important.
Wow. Okay. So that's really good that we're starting that now. So, Emily, is there anything that you want to add to or ask Becky?
Well, it's kind of a group thing here. We've got a lot of employees that have some super fantastic skills in education and background and specialized training on certain things like aromatherapy, things like that.
Yeah, sure.
So if we've got an employee who really wants to offer a new group to the patients, how would they go about that process of getting that vetted and approved? It's probably more for Julie.
Oh, I was like, see, that's for me. Okay. Yeah. So basically, what we've asked is that if, again, we want you to be super passionate and we want you to put your spin on what it is that you want to do. I'm a big believer in following your passion, and, all of us are unique and all of us have different goals and different, things that we really enjoy doing in life. Whatever those things are, I would just encourage you, if you want to do a group on it, fantastic. Bring it to us, but just let Emily and I kind of just review it. We'll put it together on our template that we have, and we'll vet it through our clinical team, which includes Emily, myself, Becky, and then a few of our group leaders as well, just to make sure that it's something that is not too deep for some of our inpatient patients, because, we want them to get skills, but we also don't want to really dive deep into childhood issues or anything like that. That is not the time or place in inpatient. So if you have an idea, bring it to us. Email us, send us an email or text or call us at any point. So that's a great question. So just to kind of wrap up, Becky, any tips or recommendations that you have for staff right now as we Emily and I are really pushing forward and leaning into this new process?
I would just say continue to be supportive of your peers. Try to make sure that people are covering for checks so that we can get the groups to be happening. It takes a village when it comes to really making sure that we're doing everything that we need to be doing for our patients. Be creative. Ask for help. One unit may be super busy, the other unit may not be. Utilize your supervisors just to check and see if there's any, staff that we need to be switching around, or just to overall, again, work together, because it does take a village. I also would like to remind folks that when you have your patients engaged in treatment, there is less opportunity for shenanigans. So, that's probably like my biggest thing is, making sure that we're encouraging folks to get up, participate in treatment. Let's get them better and get them back home to their families.
Yeah.
Focusing on the right things, the right words,
Right.
the right groups.
Right, for sure. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks, Becky, for sitting down and talking with us. I always like to end groups by practicing gratitude. So we're going to end our group gab this week by practicing gratitude. So, Emily, what's one thing that you are grateful for today?
The rain.
The
My
rain.
garden
We
needs
definitely
rain.
need the rain for sure. Becky, one thing you're grateful for?
I am grateful for all of my peers and coworkers that I have. We spend a lot of time with our work families, and I couldn't be happier with the group of folks that I work with every day.
Yeah, and I would also echo that. So I am so thankful and grateful for KBMC. It's just such an amazing place to work, and just to be with people who are passionate to serve others is just really a blessing. So again, thanks guys for all you do, and just keep up the great work. Be positive, and I think the one thing that I hear from Becky is let's make sure that we're trying to engage our folks in treatment, because we do not want shenanigans on the units. we want people to really be here and to get the help that they need and that they deserve. So just keep up the great work. Please, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or outrage, just let us know, and we'll see you next week on Group Gab. Take care.